Roland Barthes once noted how photographs carry an illusion that's more convincing than any lie. The photograph is not a presence, but evidence of something having been there. It's a that, has, been, and like all cultural artifacts in algorithmic space, it can be replicated endlessly without losing its claim to truth. This isn't just about fakery. It's about how meaning itself has been detached from physical reality and repackaged as data to be consumed. Neil Postman warned us long ago. When technology takes control of language, it can redefine what we mean by words like original or authentic. In Technopolis, the original is no longer a source, but just another node in a network. Algorithms don't distinguish between real and fakes. They only recognize patterns worth repeating. And suddenly, authenticity becomes something to be manufactured, not discovered.
The earliest computers were not just machines, but manifestations of human ingenuity. Electrogrammatic beasts like the Z3 and ENIAC that laid the groundwork for the digital.
Instagram filters don't just make things look vintage, they create evidence of it. A grainy photo isn't beautiful nostalgia. It's a lie with convincing texture. These artifacts are not about authenticity, but about faking its appearance to signal something deeper. That the user values what they're pretending to be part of. It's like using period furniture in your living room, not out of taste, but because you want people to believe you understand tradition. What we hear in that footage confirms how early musicians were already humanizing machines through imperfection. They added tremolo to synths, made drum machines swing off grid because perfection felt dead. Now those same techniques are produced for mass consumption as retro or authentic. We're not chasing the original anymore. We're buying a version of it that fits in a grid.
Fight, but it's also more than that. A heated debate playing out publicly between two of the world's premier AI scientists. They're facing off over whether the technology can evenly match human intelligence or if a new approach is needed. Deirdre Bosa has more in today's Tech Check. Deirdre?
So, Kelly, this is a real split right at the top of AI between two of the most influential minds in the field. It goes straight to the core of the AI trade and whether the current build-out actually pays off. So on one side, you've got Demis Hassabis, founder of DeepMind, global
So it really doesn't depersonalize music, I think, but rather maybe humanizes computers, I guess I would.
What happens when algorithms decide that perfection is suspicious? In a world of digital creation, engineers have learned to simulate imperfection at scale, not for beauty or emotion, but for believability. Mid-eye humanization settings in music software don't add soul. They're there to mask the cold precision of machines and make them feel like they were made by fallible humans. It's not artistry. It's a trick of perception. The algorithm doesn't want to create something genuine. It wants you to believe it is. The same logic now powers deepfakes. To avoid detection, AI voice models and facial animations are deliberately given human errors, cracked voices, mispronunciations, micro-expressions. These flaws are not accidents. They're engineered to make the fake feel real. You don't trust a machine's smoothness. You trust a stutter. That means deception now requires authenticity as it's masked. Even the things that make us feel something, a crack in a voice, an off rhythm beat, are now algorithmically calculated. Roland Barthes called this the grain of the voice, a physicality that breaks through artifice and jolts the listener from passive consumption. Now algorithms reverse, engineer punctum, how to disturb just enough without breaking you out entirely. The result is not emotional truth, but emotional simulation, a counterfeit original.
We have a new human being, and that's Chris Potter of Memetics Corporation, a new synthesizer, the Yamaha DX100, and a new computer, the Commodore Amiga.
The original no longer exists as a privileged first instance. It has become an algorithmic byproduct of the copy. When we look at a portrait, a speech, or even a news report today, we are often seeing something generated in response to patterns, not lived experiences. The artist is mimicked by generators trained on their past works. The voice is cloned before it's spoken. What was once unique now serves as input for further copies. This inversion flips authenticity on its head, no longer born from action or in. As Neil Postman warned us long ago, technopoly erodes all alternatives until only the technological model remains. Now we live in that world. The tools meant to detect forgeries are themselves being spoofed. Deepfake detectors flagged as false positives. Watermark algorithms outwitted by new layers of synthetic noise. What was once a line between real and fake has collapsed into a haze, where verification itself is a performance. The death of the original is not a tragedy, it's a transformation. From this emergence come new forms of power and perceptions. Persuasion no longer tied to individual creators, but to systems that replicate, mutate, and adapt faster than we can comprehend. The counterfeit becomes not just accepted, but demanded. Authenticity is now curated by algorithmic logic rather than human experience. In this space, truth doesn't lie in origins. It lies in the system's ability to convince